Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. Um, I just been thinking about people that have tried to break my spirit through my life, and I saw a meme on Facebook that said, I don't chase, I replace. Well, when that goes for friendships, yeah, I'm like that. But and I don't chase family or anybody I'm related to. Um, but I won't replace them necessarily. I mean, how do you replace like a mom or a dad or you can maybe kind of adopt people, but yeah. But as far as like relationships, um I didn't care if I replaced somebody or not, but I definitely won't chase anybody. I'm worth way more than that to myself. So that's, and I was thinking about how it's always the narcissistic type personality that is wanting you to have forgiveness. Have you noticed that? I mean, whether or not we forgive, um, if that makes us feel better, or if you have non forgiveness within you and people are trying to guilt trip you on that, them. Who cares what they have to say? They're not the ones that had something did to them. They're the ones that did the doing, you know. So as far as chasing somebody like that, you'll never catch me chasing somebody that's caused me pain, ever. If now, I mean, I've been known to give more than a second chance. But if it's a personality trait, um, and I don't see any changed behavior within that person, I'll let it go. You know, I'm not, and I've always been like that. I'm not just, this isn't anything new for me. Some of you know I started running away at 5, but I really made it pretty good at 12. And then I made it, several states away from where I lived. Well, from Minnesota to Florida when I was 15. Not that I didn't get busted. I mean, they had APBs out on me and all that, 21 times till finally I was able to take them to court and prove them unfit as parents and get myself emancipated. You know, a lot of people are out here crying the poor me's in life. Oh, my parents were so abusive. I became a narcissist because of it. Oh, is that right, Sparky? What's your next trick? Oh, Sparky was a seal at our zoo, one of our zoos in Minnesota. Anyway, so yeah, as far as that's concerned, people with and they are the ones that do the damage to other people, are always the ones that are spouting that you should have forgiveness, least you be forgiven. No, the exact terminology is you will be measured on the same level. That's the wording, the actual wording, you know. Least you be measured on that same level. So it's not um forgive or you won't be forgiven. It's if you're not forgiving, if somebody did something to you that you wouldn't do to somebody else, you don't have to forgive that. If you've done the same thing, that's your same level. That's what I'm talking about. It's always these people that do horrible things to other people that want you to be forgiving. or it's the narcissist that wants to pretend that it's a mental illness, a actual handicap. No, you're criminally insane. You're trying to be a bully with a license, and I've studied psychology and psychiatry when I was very young, and then actually got trained in my state to do just that. And I am telling you, you're insane and you're a criminal and you're a bully. You do not have a handicap, especially these people that can get a college degree and then say they're a narcissist and they have a disease. No, you don't. You're an evil piece of crud, and I'm going to prove it. You and the rest of your narcissist buddies making money off your fucking insanity. You can keep saying it as much as you want, but I'm telling you, there is no forgiveness or mercy here towards you bastards. You made a beast, you're going to deal with it. So that's the way it goes. And it's coming to get you. Thought you'd play around at the gates of hell, and then what? You're going to be okay after you got through being a horrible person to everybody that you could manipulate or control? That's not going to happen. We're coming for you. Anyway, I just spent about 15 minutes trying to get the right lighting. It's like, whatever. It's okay. My plants like it, but this recording the camera doesn't. I'll get there. I'll get a comfortable spot. I used to have one and then I changed my room around, it's like, oh no. Then in order to reach everything the way I need everything, it's like it's got to be just right. Or putting it back the way it was. I didn't like that though. So anyway, plus I had to move a lot of big stuff so I could clean behind it. So anyway, so do excuse my lighting if aesthetics is important to you. you know, if my face is too scary, check out my plants. you know, that might help. Helps me. So anyway, yeah, I'm proud of my scars. I earned every one of them. Well, maybe some of you have been there. Um, I know a lot of people are way vain, you know, they've got to worry about every little mark on them. Is somebody going to see that or whatever? Shh, whatever is right, you know. Uh, It's like with friendships. People come and go. That's not so easy with like spouses and children. Although yes, they come and go too at times, but so when I say, um, well, I can see where don't chase, replace is actually a thing in some sense, if you see what I mean. So it might be a good policy for somebody like out there if you're a young person and you're just making friends in your life and they're not suited to you. I wouldn't chase after them. Go find ones that are more like you. you know? So, and I'm not into forgiveness. This is one of my days. I fluctuate. I really do on that because when you've had the unthinkable happen to you many times over, and what do I mean by the unthinkable? The things that you would never think would happen to you, or the things that you may be too sickened by it to even talk about it. You know, those are the unthinkables. You know, those aren't unforgivable. You know, or they're not necessarily forgivable, is what I meant. You know, yeah, they're unforgivable. Oh, anyway, no, I just have it stuck in my mind where whether or not I forgive, it holds no bearing, you know, none. It's not going to send me into a bout of like guilt tripping me because I'm not going to forgive somebody that's horrible person, you know. So, so whether or not I do, I guess that's between me and my maker. And if I'm talking to my maker, and that's the one expecting me to endure innumerable amounts of whatever can be heaped upon me and say nothing about it, I don't think that's what I'm created for. I think I was created to absolutely say something about it and point it out to people that it is not a natural thing in human societies for people to be demonistic. It's just not. Societies don't go around with murderers and liars and deceivers and that type. Societies aren't run by the people that impose their will upon you. They make it appear like it's going around because of them, but it's actually going around because of you. It's like the stable parent within the household. Sometimes there's, if there is one, sometimes the only stability in that household is you. Maybe even if you were a kid or um, with your spouse or your children, or sometimes you're the only actual stable one. And then they're going to come after you if that's the case. Most likely, um, from their insanity, their greed, and their selfishness, you're going to be a target, you know? So no, I'm not buying into I was thinking about Don Henley's song, which I really love. He's a singer from the Eagles. I met him a long time ago. Well, we I I spent a weekend around the Eagles because I was a secretary at a hot springs, and I was the only one who could get them some herb. So, and then I spent the weekend dancing to their music and whatnot. It's a long time ago. But anyway, so I met Don Henley, but he has a song out there called, I think it's about forgiveness or forgiveness, you know. I think it is about forgiveness. but he's talking about what he had done in his life, even if she doesn't love him anymore. I think it's about forgiveness, even if you don't love me anymore. Or maybe she did something shady to him. Um, so it could go both ways. I think it is about forgiveness. I think it's about the fact that it's not a necessary thing in order to be an honorable person. Forgiveness is not mandatory, is what I'm telling you. A lot of people have it brainwashed into their heads. Forgive, lest you be forgiven. That is not what it says. It's on the same measure. I have a video on that about, let me see, what it is it called? Forgive, lest you be forgiven, I think is what it's called. I think I have another one called Forgiveness on the Same Measure. You know, it's the scales of justice. You know, when it's like, oh, what is it? I think her name is Mot in Egyptian times. She's holding the scales of justice, and there's a heart on one of the balance, and there's a feather on the other. How she weighs everybody's soul in Egyptian lore, um, belief, uh, against that feather, and how you would measure up. You know, like nobody's perfect, of course. You know, we all do stupid things, yeah. But is it something that you ignore? Or do you acknowledge where you've faltered and straightened up? I mean, if you don't stop doing what is some of the dumbest and shit I've ever seen people do in my entire life, my whole life, adults acting like kids, um, dressing, not controlling themselves, and like no self control in almost every area of their lives unless it suits them. Like, I know people that will go on diets just because it's almost mating season, if you get my gist. It's the truth. I mean, some of us worry about taking care of ourselves every day, but I've just seen and I've noticed that people get into these, like, it's almost summertime type of feeling, and a narcissist is like that. It's easier for them to go hunting for supply in the summertime than it is for them in the winter if you live in a cold climate. It's true. So, yeah. Some of us have spent most of our lives alone thinking, you know, taking in knowledge and deciphering what we can apply in life, how it might help other human beings, that type of. That's really what I'm all about. If I can lend a helping hand to somebody else out there struggling like that, like I say, it could be kids, spouse, parents, whoever, a boss at work. We've all had them drive us crazy, you know. It's hard to do things when you're depending on a paycheck, and you can't do anything to cross them because they'll either get rid of you, because especially if they are a narcissist, A narcissist is always looking for somebody else. Always. It doesn't matter what they have or um, who they're with or anything. It never matters. They're always in search of something else. Doesn't matter if it's better or more money or cuter or male, female, animal. It doesn't matter. They're always looking for that supply that isn't you. You're already used up. You know, what's next? If somebody's vulnerable, you're next. You know, and I just flashed on big mouth mothers that really needed their ass beat and didn't have it beat. that that's coming from a daughter towards a mother. I'm not saying that a son should like, and I don't think a girl should beat up her mother either, but sometimes these bitches need that shit and they don't ever get it. Same with these men that are narcissists like that. That's why I took my martial arts because I was sick of people pushing me around and I was going to make sure it was never going to happen again. And the only people that can harm me are people that I let close enough to me. And those are the ones that have harmed me. I mean, with a stranger, you don't know. So if you're prepared, you know, to defend yourself, but you shouldn't think that you would have to defend yourself like if you're a little kid or from your own kid or within your relationship. If you don't have a safe place, you know. I've always just been looking for drama less or non drama. I don't mind drama if it's like theatrical, you know. If I were making a point, um, that's one thing. I'm talking about traumatic drama that some people just can't pull their head out of it. You know, it's like a thing, like a security blanket they carry around, um, being drama filled. I'd like to fill your face with my fist. How's that for drama? Talking to the narcissist now. Pretend, you know, but that is what they deserve. So forgiveness, that's out of the fucking question with me, at least today. Like I say, I fluctuate, but I don't guilt trip over it. I don't feel like I'm going to hell. I'm already in it. So I don't feel like I'm going to hell because I don't forgive an insane monster, you know. It's not a doubt in my mind that if that were the case, say like a little kid is raped and that little kid never forgives that adult, and what you think your God is going to hate that person because they never found forgiveness? Some things are unforgivable, and that's one of them. I would almost wager a bet that God would rather have you kill an adult than he would have you accost one of his little people. What's the bet? I bet that's the truth. Maybe you could say, well, that used to be one of his little people. Well, maybe it's a total evil piece that doesn't deserve to breathe, you know. And that child that got injured never injured anybody else. They just knew it was wrong and didn't find it in their heart for forgiveness of that act. Some things are not forgivable. And if you've had things happen to you, like say if your parent beat you up or something, you know, there's a lot of weird things that go on in the world. Some things just are not forgivable. I'm not talking about a spanking people, you know. I'm talking about cruelty or a parent that is nothing but loud and controlling like that and obnoxious, abnormal, that punishing type feeling that some people carry around with them like a force of control towards other people. I mean, little people, there's nothing they can do about it, you know. What are they supposed to do? Go to school and say, "Oh, well, my mom just yelled at me every day, all day long. She's a hose bag," or whatever. You know, little person isn't going to be able to say those types of things um, to help themselves, and then they're afraid who's going to be there for them and where they're supposed to be safe and they're not safe, you know? So, yeah. So, anyway, those are my thoughts on forgiveness and chasing and replacing, and especially with a friend. If I'm not valued, I'm not going to chase. If I see that it's reciprocated and they love me as much as I love them, then I'm going to give it my all, you know, to be like, wow, another human in the world. How about that? You know, an actual heart within people, you know. I think I think if you have a big heart, you naturally have a bigger brain. Then you have both aspects. You can see what the darkness is and what you don't want to be, and you know you're capable of that also, but you decide not to be that, and you're doubly as intelligent because they cannot have the tenderness that you carry. So you have it way over them to begin with. So you don't have to forgive them. They forgive themselves. They make excuses for their poor behavior. You don't have to do that. They're already doing it. That's my opinion on forgiveness. It's more than an opinion. If you read what's written, that's the context of it. It's not mandatory. It's by the same measure. That's eye for an eye. That's what they're afraid of, that you're going to learn the truth, that you get what you give. So, yeah, I think there is somebody out there that is definitely going through something similar. Like I say, I don't know a boss. I mean, there's millions of us on the planet, so I'm certain that there's somebody out there vibing on my same level that's like, why do they keep pushing the forgiveness coming out of the ones that want us to forgive them? Why is why are they a victim when they haven't gone through even a smidgen of what you've went through, but they want to play the victim card to you or to I? Wow, that doesn't sit right. So let me see if we can see outside. No, too sunny, too much. Anyway, so yeah, those are my thoughts. Don't chase people. Don't ever do that. I mean, if it's somebody on YouTube, like I follow some people and I don't know if they even see my comments when I comment or anything, then I get to where uh, I'm not going to even bother. I might have all kinds of insight for people on the same subjects that they're discussing, but they're just going to have to remain as dense as they are because some people are out there just for money. Some people are out there for show. Some people are out there to spread knowledge and still want to make money. And other people are like me. We're just out here trying to connect with like minded people. And that's me. That's what I'm doing. So hopefully somebody out there gets where I'm coming from, that these monsters want us to forgive them. But I don't think that's in the cards. Something tells me that's not the mode of operation for the hundreds of years that these people have practiced this dark art, using religion against people in that way to continue their abuse. So that's where I'm coming from. All right, everybody. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.